What happens when two human monsters collide with absolutely no rules? At WWE Backlash 2026, the ring could barely contain the chaos as Oba Femi stepped into a no disqualification war against the giant Omos. No countouts, no disqualifications, no mercy. This wasn't just a wrestling match, it looked like a demolition site. And by the end of the night, one superstar walked out looking unstoppable, while the other may never be the same again. Stay till the end, because the final moments shocked the WWE Universe and could completely change the future of WWE's Monster Division. The atmosphere inside the arena was unreal. Fans were on their feet before the bell even rang, because everyone knew this wasn't going to be technical wrestling. This was going to be pure destruction. On one side stood Omos, over 7 feet tall, a giant who has crushed legends and dominated opponents with terrifying power. On the other side was Oba Femi, WWE's fastest rising powerhouse, explosive, aggressive, fearless. And the scariest part? Oba Femi looked completely unafraid. The bell rang, and both men immediately charged toward the center of the ring. The collision alone sounded like a car crash. Omos used his massive size advantage early, driving Oba Femi into the corner with brutal shoulder attacks. The ropes shook every single time Omos slammed into him. But Oba wasn't backing down. Instead of trying to outpower the giant, he attacked with speed and intensity. Heavy forearms, body shots, running clotheslines. The crowd exploded when Oba Femi actually forced Omos backward. And that's when things started getting dangerous. Because this was no disqualification, anything could be used as a weapon. But nobody expected the first weapon Omos would pull out. And what happened next nearly broke the ring apart. Omos rolled outside the ring and grabbed a steel chair. The audience instantly erupted. He swung with terrifying force, but Oba Femi ducked at the last second. The chair smashed against the ring post with a horrifying sound. Oba countered with a spear-like tackle that sent both men crashing through the barricade. Fans in the front row jumped out of the way as security rushed over. This match was completely out of control. Back inside the ring, Oba Femi introduced a kendo stick and unleashed repeated shots across Omos's back, but the giant barely reacted. Instead, Omos grabbed the kendo stick with one hand, snapped it in half, and stared directly at Oba Femi. The crowd lost their minds. At this point, Omos looked unstoppable. He lifted Oba Femi high into the air and delivered a massive sidewalk slam onto a pile of steel chairs. The replay looked brutal. Commentators screamed that nobody could survive that impact. Omos then cleared the announce table, and every WWE fan knows what that means. He grabbed Oba by the throat, preparing for a gigantic choke slam through the table, but somehow, Oba escaped. And this changed everything. Because moments later, Oba Femi pulled off a move so insane that the entire crowd stood in shock. Oba Femi suddenly exploded with energy. He smashed Omos with a trash can lid, followed by a devastating running shoulder tackle that finally dropped the giant to one knee. For the first time in the match, Omos looked vulnerable. The crowd began chanting Oba's name louder and louder. Oba climbed the second rope and launched himself with a massive flying clothesline. Then came the craziest moment of the entire match. Oba Femi lifted Omos for a powerbomb attempt. The arena couldn't believe it. The giant struggled to escape, but Oba used every ounce of strength and actually slammed Omos through the announce table. The crowd absolutely exploded. "This is awesome," chants echoed throughout the arena. Both men barely made it back into the ring. They looked exhausted, bruised, destroyed. But neither superstar wanted to stay down. Omos hit a massive boot that nearly decapitated Oba Femi. 1, 2, kick out. The arena erupted again. Omos looked furious. He attempted one final chokeslam, but Oba countered with repeated elbow strikes before hitting a thunderous spinebuster onto a steel chair. Then came the final move. Oba Femi charged across the ring and delivered a devastating running power slam directly onto the broken chair pieces. 1, 2, 3. Oba Femi wins. What a war. This wasn't just a victory for Oba Femi. This felt like the arrival of WWE's next unstoppable monster. Defeating Omos in a no disqualification match instantly changes how fans view Oba Femi. And honestly, if he keeps performing like this, championship gold may not be far away. But the real question is, who can actually stop him now? If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more WWE action, backstage stories, and epic match breakdowns. And tell me in the comments, should Oba Femi become WWE's next world champion?